Welcome to the Why to Change podcast. My name is Camilla Karlsson, also known as Jinka Michiko. Today, I have a dear friend of mine, and we're going to talk about something very interesting, a topic that I think affects many of us. But before that, let me tell you what this podcast really is about. Now, this podcast, Why to Change, brings together inspiring voices from diverse paths. Now, each guest shares transformative wisdom and powerful insights. Also, practical tools to help you and I create life-changing shifts. And that, in turn, elevates our well-being. So, today, my dear friend Camilla Karlsson is joining us. Welcome, Camilla.
Thank you, Jenny. Nice to be here again.
Yes, this is not your first time, and I hope not your last time either. We have discussed, several topics. The last one was that intermittent fasting.
Yes, it was. And then we actually came up with this topic for today during that podcast. It came up like a side subject, like we need to look into this. So, yeah.
Yes, indeed. And the topic that we've chosen for today is it's a concept of outgrowing relationships. We chose to name this episode When We Grow in Different Directions, what happens and why personal growth isn't always comfortable and how it can change the people around us. So let's start from there. We talked last time about intermittent fasting and how that lifestyle encompasses several choices. And we also touched on the topic of networks and the people we surround us with, right?
Yeah, it's true. And I think we came into this theme because I said when you have specific hours when you eat and so, it can actually affect your social life. I think it started spinning off from there. So you sort of outgrow in a way or change or grow in different direction how and when you have social gatherings sometimes.
And in that episode, we talked about, for instance, having meals together is a social construct. We are social beings. But what happens when we choose to decline eating? But we can still be there, right, in a context. Yeah. But what if, you don't drink coffee? Really?
Yeah, I think it depends a little bit on the culture as well. I live in Spain, and here food is the main thing that you meet up around. You meet up at a bar or a restaurant. It's always around eating or drinking. But to me, it's actually not a new concept saying that, okay, I won't eat, because I've been a vegetarian as well. So many times it's been also a challenge to get that into the construct, with friends. And do I go to a Argentinian meat restaurant to meet my friends, or how do I handle that situation? And that's also a challenge sometimes, of course, and you have different values or interests. So that is related to today's theme as well, I think.
Oh, yes, because when we change values, we change our priorities and activities, our settings. There are so many levels that we change on. And I remember when you came into my life many years ago, and I don't know, we were in Tallinn, Estonia, and you were a vegetarian then, I remember. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I had a couple more new friends in my life that year, and those 2 years. All of them were vegetarians.
Oh, really?
Yes. Just several individuals, all of them were vegetarians. It was so remarkable, but it was also open, life-changing, providing new opportunities for me, because then, okay, I'll try new vegetarian dishes, amazing restaurants, and because I also wanted to mirror and, explore that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, growing means also growing with people around you and learn and discover new things. So if you can do it with others, that's great, and experiment and widen your horizons a little bit, no? So because sometimes you have to adapt. Maybe if let's go back to the vegetarian thing then. If I meet somebody and they are meat lovers, how can we find a middle way, maybe, where I can feel comfortable as a vegetarian and they can feel comfortable as a meat eater? We wouldn't go to an extreme vegan restaurant, but we wouldn't go to an Argentine steakhouse either. So both maybe have to compromise a little bit and find a middle way. And you might discover new things there. Maybe a sushi place. I have no idea, but stay open for new solutions.
Yes, I do believe that. That is essential, really, because growing. Okay, let's start off here. We mentioned two concepts. We mentioned growing, and we mentioned changing.
Yeah.
What's the difference, Camilla?
Good question. Are there difference? Can you change without grow? And can you grow without change?
That's a great question. We can change for the worse, not optimal. When we grow, I guess it's in a positive way. Growing means
okay,
expanding, improving. Does it? No.
Okay, so yeah, maybe so growing means expanding. Changing could be just change directions without expanding. But if you change, don't you automatically expand because it's something new?
Ooh, I love that. Because I love change. I love change. For me is movement. And change is also moving away from and towards something. And I choose that change for a reason, because I don't want to be anymore where I am. I want to explore something new, which I probably need in my life. And who's to judge if it's good or bad? Well, I choose it because I need it somehow.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think we have the answer to it.
No, not now at least. I don't.
Let it sink in a little bit. What's the difference between change and growth? Or is there a difference? That was the question you asked.
Yes, it is, because we're talking about words. We're talking about these levels. The words we choose, they have power, they have connotations, they also shape our thoughts.
Yep.
Language shapes our thoughts and vice versa. So that's why it's so different, interesting, and elaborating on these concepts.
So growth for you is a more powerful or more, how should I put it? Not positive, but it has that annotation that it brings you towards something, lighter, or not lighter, but forward. By change could be sideways, backwards, forward, depending.
Yes. But your question is my answer. That change could also be me stepping back, maybe even regressing, which I seldom do. I don't know if I've ever regressed before, but taking a step back. But that could still be growth. It could still be, it's something that I need. And therefore, if I would step back, maybe I would not invest so much in my company. I would do fewer, I don't know, energy saving measures. But that in turn, maybe others will perceive it that she's taking it chill now. She's not expanding her business. But who knows, when I change, if I would just step back, stillness, I would maybe take a huge leap in growth after that.
You never know. Yeah.
We don't know.
From outside, I think you never know really what is growth and what is change or staying stagnant, even, because a lot of things can happen inside you, even if you don't see it on the outside. So the growth might happen silently inside, and then all of a sudden you make a huge leap.
Yes.
It's true.
And we can make huge leaps. For instance, I have done one quite recently, a huge leap, energy-wise, ambition-wise, with dreams and how I see myself. And reality has not really caught up yet. It is, but not as fast as my identity, like this quantum leap. But now, of course, I'm seeing reality catching up.
But what is reality for you then? What is reality catching up? Is that the people around you or things that happens to you that's catching up?
I guess
I got curious about that question as well.
Well, for instance, I've been considering several years I want to improve, and I want to learn more leadership in school. I've been thinking several years of becoming a headmaster, principal, like studying, choosing that path. Now I've taken some actions, 2 years, but now this spring I said to my manager and headmaster now that this is something I really want to do. Seriously, they didn't know it 2 years ago. I knew it. Some friends knew it. And now I told my headmaster I really want to take this program, a university program, to become a headmaster. You know, it's this managerial program, and we applied, and I got the acceptance letter 2 days ago, and I didn't know if I was going to be accepted, but I was accepted. I super thrilled and shocked and excited and everything. And then I told my coworkers. I haven't told anyone. I told a few, maybe 2, that I applied, but I was still, I don't know. It just, everything was so fast, but now I accepted. Now I shared on social media. I got it and I'm accepted. And then, wow, this is huge, because now as I'm communicating that, which I've been thinking about for a while, I've been acting, but now I'm doing it, and we'll see.
So reality is that you make it external, because you said you've been taking this quantum leap internally then, and now you said reality is catching up, but that's really that you're informing colleagues and taking these formal steps. Is that the reality?
And reality is what I perceive and communicate.
Yeah.
So indeed, yes, that's the thing. I also was, in the past, I was worried, like, what would others think? But then now, who cares? I would really want to do this. I want to make a difference doing this, and let me, if they accept me, of course, which they did. So, but then it's funny when we change, because it's also the way I communicate is also going to affect, I guess, the literature I'm going to read, topics I'm going to communicate about, because I share my journey, everything else I do. For instance, one of my followers, some fans, some of my friends. But now just what I've been interested in is that I've taken this huge decision and it worked. And now I'm really excited to where it's going to take me. Right. But I was, yeah.
Now I got to think about another thing about our theme here. Will that change your relationship with your colleagues, that they know you're going to take this path and become maybe their principal in the future? You know, and do they see you in a different, does that really affect the relationship already now with your colleagues?
That's the great question. I don't have the ambitions to necessarily become a headmaster at our school. I mean, I could, if there's an opening, if they would see it relevant, of course. I don't know what the others perceive, or if I'm worried about it. I'm thinking also in life, there are many schools and several openings, but how I don't know if everyone knows. I don't think I have communicated to everyone yet, of course. But the ones who know, they're super happy for me. And that makes me really glad to see. We didn't know you had these My mom also, like, I didn't know you had these ambitions. And no, I haven't shared them.
Yeah.
I've known. I told a couple of friends. I was afraid I was excluding her and others, but I was also, I've known for 2 years I really want to do this. I've done that, but I didn't have the courage in case it would change. But when I see the reactions and response from my friends and followers and everyone, they think it's super, like, yes, it's about time. Yes, Jenny, go. They're not surprised. Others are not surprised.
Yeah. Well, maybe we need this journey internally, no? That convince
Yeah.
ourselves and come to some sort of conclusion before we make it official. If it's something big in life, a big change maybe. And now they're all happy for you. Would it have been the same if you had said, you know what, for 2 years now I've been thinking and I'm finally taking the step. I'm leaving the school system. I'm gonna become Buddhist monk. No, something
Maybe.
totally different. But then you're like, is that the same reaction, or does it really matter? Yeah, it's interesting as well. What if it's something that people see in line, or if it shocks them totally that it's something new, or yeah, I'm gonna start as a circus artist instead, or
You have a great point there, because is it expected or not? I guess that those who really know me, they're not surprised that I choose this path to embark. But I have many paths, right? I am
Yeah.
multi-passionate. I have many paths. I don't think anyone would be surprised that I become a Buddhist monk either. Well, my family maybe.
Yeah. Well, it was an example.
No, or a circus artist. If I haven't talked about it, if I haven't radiated that kind of interest or energy in the past, like, where did that come from? You want to become a carpenter? You hate furniture, now want to become a carpenter? Well, like, how? Then they would become worried.
Yeah.
So that's a great question that you ask when change is unexpected, or if it's expected and quite aligned. Do you have an experience of making this huge step?
I actually put something on social media not long ago, because a lot of people know me from many years back. Since I moved away from Sweden and lived in Spain, I actually put something on Facebook not so long ago that people might know me as from school, from Sweden, from my years as a tour guide, for example, which is totally different from my 16 years in the corporate world as well. And now I'm a coach, I'm a mindfulness instructor and hypnotist, and I'm sure that came as a shock for people that haven't heard from me in 15, 20 years. Like, they have a totally different picture of me and would not have expected this change maybe. But for me, it's been a gradual and natural development. But for somebody that's not in touch with me, it must have been like, what? She was the one that used to be a tour leader. Now she's there. And it's probably not expected for a lot of people, but others that know me a little bit more probably seen where I'm heading.
Time is definitely an aspect here, as you said. Now, I came across this response from my childhood friends, actually, and that was, after I published my book, I became an author. And I was still surprised that I pulled through. I finished this project, and wow, I'm at a book expo with the book. I did, and I was still in awe of myself doing that. It wasn't on my bucket list. I never dreamt of becoming an author. Never. I was a reader. I am still a reader. I was book
Interesting
blogger.
that it's not in that it wasn't in your bucket list.
No, it
And you
was.
did
I have
it.
never.
Yeah.
It's not in my bucket list. Become an author. Become a podcast host. No.
Well,
A
yeah,
therapist.
true.
It's so much fun. But my friends then, my childhood friends, said, "We're not surprised at all, Jenny. how can you be surprised? We're not surprised. We're just waiting for you to do this. I went, really? Like, you're so blind, Jenny. They were not at all surprised. Like, yeah, we talked to each other. Yeah, we're so happy for you. We knew you were going to do this. Well, okay, thank you for the notice.
Thank you for telling me that I'm going to write a book. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but this, we talk about growing and relationships. And I mean, there are many different relationships. Now
Yeah.
we talk about friendships and people that know you from maybe from childhood. And before this podcast, I'm thinking like, okay, different relationships and friendship. Because I think it's different that when you grow, you have a different relationship with your family and maybe a romantic partner or children than you have with friends. And I'm like, okay, this friendship, what is the definition of friendship?
Yes. Great question. You tell me. Why
Well,
are we friends?
according to Cambridge, it's somebody you like spending time with, or it was a very simple
Definition.
definition, thank you, of it. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I'm not happy with that. I'm going deeper. Like, is friendship something that needs to last forever? So what's the difference between an acquaintance and a friendship? Is
Ooh,
it has to do with time or what you do together? It just came up so many more questions about it.
yes.
And I think there is not just one kind of friendship because they evolve. Some friendships are for life, and some are just for a certain period of your life. For example, let's say during your college years, you might be very close to somebody there, and then your life spread. That doesn't mean that the friendship during those years were not true and important, but
Oh, that's right. That's so true. It mattered then in that phase of life.
yeah.
It was there.
And I was thinking back again for my years as a tour leader. I was at a different country for 6 months, and I had my colleagues around me, and we were so close. We spent the work time together and the free time together because that was our social network. And it was like, we are so close. And I
Yes.
must admit that today, I don't even remember the name of some of them.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean that in that moment it was important part. But was that friendship? I don't know.
It for sure was friendship. Wouldn't you say back then that they were your friends that you spent? Well,
They
it
were
also
colleagues.
they were colleagues, right? Colleagues versus friends, and you can have colleagues that become your friends. You have colleagues that are not your friends, but your colleagues as well.
Yeah. So a colleague, if you have a few after work beers with a colleague now and then, is that a friend or is it still a colleague? So again, this friendship, where does it start and where does it end? It's a little bit blurry.
Does it have to mean that you had to break up with a friend to know that we're not friends anymore? Because that could happen, like when we outgrow each other or we just passed. Some actually they break up or we can't be friends anymore. But then usually something has happened
Yeah.
that you're not. Because in my opinion, true friends are happy for each other. They're also sad for each other. They share all emotions. Like when you're sad, I'm sad. I'm here for you. I'm with you. When you're sad, I want to see you happy. I want to see you smile, of course, as a friend. When you're sad, but I want to know that you're sad. That's what friends do.
Okay. So if I have, now I'm going to ask you a question then. So if I have two colleagues at work and we go out and have a after work beer now and then, and one of them I'm going to call if I have trouble. The other one I probably wouldn't call if I feel I need help or I feel down. Do I have friendship with one and the other one is just a work colleague then? Is that the difference? Where you feel that you have this confidence to reach out when you have problems or when something is not good? Is that what makes friendship?
I'm not so sure either, because I could also not call you because I know that you're very busy and you have your problems right now. I don't want to burden you further when I know what you're going through. So I won't share I don't know.
You
These are
see, it's not an
great
easy
questions.
concept. Yeah. I just came up with more questions than answers, really, thinking about this.
That's what we coaches do. We're awesome at asking questions. We have no answers.
True. Good. Thank you. I don't need to have the answers.
No.
I can relax.
Our clients do, but now you and I coach and coach. Like no one of us has answers when we have questions. That's quite
So
funny.
two coaches should not speak to each other because it's just a list of questions coming up. Oh my God.
For listeners, oh wow, maybe you have the answers. You can send us a mail after this.
Yeah, I hope the listeners do have some input and some answers for us.
Yes, please,
Yeah.
please share.
No, and this also what makes relationships or friendship last throughout life, because we do change, of course. It's not, I
Yes.
don't have the same need and communication with friends when I'm 25 as when I'm 55. Some of them are the same people, but some are not. So
Oh yes.
what happened, because I'm totally different now, and I've been away physically from these people, but it's amazing to see that I go back to Sweden once or twice a year and meet up with some people. We don't speak throughout the year in between, so it's not like we talk on social media or phone calls or anything. We just stop communication in between, and then I come and I tell them a week before, I'm coming to Sweden. Of course we're going to meet, and when we meet it feels like we're picking up just where we left off a year before.
True. That's true friendship, in my
That's
opinion.
friendship. And
That's
I was
friendship.
wondering, yeah, what is it based on? Is it shared history, or is it shared values or shared interests, or maybe a little bit of everything?
That's a great question. Again, another great question.
Again.
I'm wondering if it's that we both are able to seize the moment and be fully present in that moment, and being accepting and grateful for what it is then and there, that we share experiences, we share talks, we share, and then we leave. And there's no guilt, there's no blaming, there's nothing in between until next time we see. And I will be happy anytime I see you again next time. Not you haven't called, or you didn't call, or I didn't call. Like no negative emotions, just truly happiness, seizing the moment. For these, and it's not on and off. It's not a friendship that's like on and off. It's just that we see each other so seldom, but when we do, we fully seize the moment. We're present. It's
Yeah,
my
maybe
theory right now.
maybe that is part of it, that you don't have expectations for it to be anything else than this moment.
Perhaps, and I think that's how I am so fully in the present right now. In the past, I was always in the future. Okay, this sounds so complicated.
But in the past, I was always in the future.
Oh
I
my
have to
God.
write that one down, Jenny. I like that.
I was time traveling the entire time. In the past, I was always in the future, meaning I wasn't present when I was younger. Just 10 years ago, I wasn't present. I was never present. I was always thinking about the future. And I've actually never been in the past. If I talk about my personal timeline, how I view time. Now, when I'm feeling better, I worked with myself. I am fully in the present, being in time. But I can absolutely manage my timeline, and I can visualize and manifest and dream, and for a future. But
Yeah.
here and now. So when I think about my friends, I work that way, but that can also maybe annoy others, that she doesn't call me. She doesn't write to me whenever, and I don't know if I should feel guilty about it or not. But when I'm in my present, I'm thinking, I need to write to this person or my friend. I need to call her. But my way of communication is not calling, for instance. I've never enjoyed the phone so much. I rather type and just speak. Or video call is even better than a video call is even better than a telephone.
Okay.
In my opinion, just audio. But I don't want to be blamed for it, as I would like to accept my friends for. It's a two-way relationship, but it's also fully accepting that we're in the present whenever our timelines whenever we both can make time to meet and enjoy the moment without anything between.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean also. So you came into that when there's no expectation to have this constant communication. I think that is one of the main things as well. If you expect, you said, I don't know if I should feel guilty about it, but if there's never that expectation and it's sort of like a pattern or a silent agreement that we meet when we meet and in between it's silence, I think then there's no bad conscience or anything. I think that's maybe why it helps to just pick up where you left, because there was nothing strange that you haven't. Well, with my friends, these one that I'm thinking about, it's not strange. And but what keeps us together is a mix of this, that we have a history together. Sometimes it's a nostalgia. We talk about, do you remember when we did this? So that's how we sort of tie together again the relationship. When we meet, you sort of remind each other of the history you have, but also this maybe shared interests, depending on the person, if you have shared interests or not still in life, even though you live and have your own lives. You and I, for example, have personal development and coaching as a common thread in our friendship, I think, as well. Yeah.
Would you say then that with these friends that we have, that we meet and then just we meet sporadically and whenever we can and can make time for, have we grown with each other? Because we haven't outgrown each other since we're still in each other's lives and we want it this way. Have we grown together then?
I wouldn't say grown together. We've grown on each on their own way, but it's still, we haven't outgrown each other, but we are totally different places in life, and different persons keep growing each one, but it's something that stops us from still outgrowing. There's still something in common there.
Yes.
That we sort of have as a common ground, I guess. And I'm thinking it could be a mix of this, that the values, the history, the shared history from before. That doesn't change even though we grow in different directions. And sometimes it's interesting to see people grow in different directions and then all of a sudden it starts coming together again.
Yes.
I think that is interesting as well. So growing is just change. Sometimes it is painful though, or in a way, or a little bit challenging, because I mean, we're social creatures and we need to belong.
Yes.
And if you start feeling that your interests and in life start changing from your social circle, the question is, do you hold yourself back a little bit, or do you allow yourself to fully grow because you're afraid of not belonging to this social circle any longer? Right. And it could be very scary. And it might not even be conscious, but it is scary to leave your social circle.
It's very scary. And then that fear holds us back because we don't think about the new amazing circles that we're going to join. Rather, we think that I'm leaving instead of I'm joining, because it's harder to visualize where I'm going, because I don't know. It's just, I'm embarking this new journey. I have no idea, just hoping, but I'm not assuming. I don't know where I'm going really. I just know it's a new path. I don't know really what to expect. I'm just hoping and have faith that it will turn out all right. but I know
Yeah.
what I'm leaving, or if I'm semi-staying. I remember when I actually became a life coach, when you and we took that certification, 5 month certification with Mind Valley. We had this graduation ceremony. And sometime then, I wonder if it was during I went the program or afterwards, I remember my coworkers asked me, "You're not leaving us, Jenny." No, not that I planned. And my managers asked me as well, "You're not leaving us, Jenny, because you're so valuable here." And that made me react.
Hmm.
They reacted. What did they react to? I know I changed because I felt so much better. I felt stronger. I found myself. I was lost before them. Now I know who I was. I appeared. My appearance, my appearance changed. My voice changed. Everything about me changed. So to them, I was someone else, but I actually found myself,
Mm.
which is the true me. Then,
Yeah.
I would say. But I remember so clearly that several asked me if I'm leaving. And that scared them. And that scared me too. Am I radiating this? My energy is that saying I'm leaving. So no, I'm staying. I'm just adding a new title, a new position, a new skill. I'm still a
Mm.
teacher, but then I was a teacher, and now I'm a teacher and student coach. I'm a teacher and a coach. I didn't leave teacher. I'm both now. And now I'm taking also this managerial program, but I'm still a teacher. I'm still a coach. And now I'm building. This is multi-passionate. I'm also studying to become a manager, a principal, taking on that leadership.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean now, since I'm still studying. But if I take a position, I will have to leave coach. And I'm just having that finger.
Watch out with the fingers.
But you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
if I would be offered a position as a manager, as a principal, a headmaster somewhere, I would have to leave my former position as a teacher and a
Mhm.
coach. And I guess that's what we don't, not all people like change. And we know what we have. Even though it's negative, we know what we have.
Exactly. I mean, that's just human, no? That we hold on to
Yes.
what we know, even if
Yeah.
it's sometimes uncomfortable, but it's at least what we know. And everything new, every change is always like more resistance. But I think that when you find something that drives you to even go through that, take that step to, as you said, just put trust that and hope that everything will work out. I think there's something deep in you that just drives you. You can't hold back. You can't sit still where you are, because then you would
Yeah.
start feeling that you, well, maybe even
Miserable.
resentment against your friends, even if they haven't even,
Yeah.
they didn't even know about your thoughts. You just think that, no, if I do this, I lose my social circle. And then you start feeling resentment against them. They didn't even know that all this is happening
No,
within
that
you. It's like, wait a minute, they might be very happy for you growing and going in a different direction. And even if not, I think it's natural. Not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some
no.
are and some are not. And I think moving on and just feel gratitude that it has contributed to your life and to their life in that moment, that period of your time or life. I think it's actually quite beautiful when you think about it like that. It's not
Yes.
losing friendship, it's just that you helped each other through a phase in life and to growth. And so with gratitude, move on sometimes.
Oh, that's so beautiful because I agree totally. It's being grateful for the period that we shared together and that someone is moving on or moving on different paths. Some choose to stay and just accepting everyone's choices. Because that's hard sometimes to understand and accept what others are going through, what they choose.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we try to hold hold on to what we know. It comes back to that again. Like, I don't want change. Oh, you are forcing me. If somebody, but normally we are happy. For example, a colleague that gets a new position or maybe moves on to a different company. Of course, they feel like, oh, who I'm going to have lunch with now. If your ego comes out there like, oh, this is going to affect me negatively. But then, of course, you feel like, no, I'm really happy for this person. They're moving on in life. They're doing something they like. But you want to, for a second, you want to grasp and hold on to what's there in a way. But then if you open up and just let it be, it will evolve. And you have to evolve as well. You have to find a new lunch buddy.
Yeah.
Who knows? That could be very good for a person to find new acquaintances and might grow into friendships as well.
Oh, yes. Because that's where I'm now. I have a coworker who will be leaving soon. I just want him to stay. He's one of my best friends here. I'm super happy for him, and I'm also super selfish that I want to keep him here. He's my friend, one of my closest friends, but also I'm so happy because that's what we want for our friends. We want happiness and freedom and right to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They dream of.
Yeah.
Right. So there's so many emotions tied to this. And this is also standing up for ourselves. And I just talked to others previously today in a network luncheon. We talked about confidence and also resistance. And resistance here is change. You said something about that now as well. That change is also takes energy, growth. It hurts to grow, but it's also on the other side. It's so worth it. Between the comfort zone and expansion zone, you need energy. You need to pay. It costs energy.
Yes, it costs energy, but it also fills you with energy. When you start something new, a new project, somehow you find that energy, but it's two different energies, I think, as well. And
right.
I think it's allowing the energy to flow. Now it starts sounding like real deep here, but if you try to hold on to something, then you put more energy in holding on than allowing. If you allow things to change and be more open, then there is a better flow, I think, in
everything.
Yeah, in everything, really. Because this, as a mindfulness instructor, I'm always talking about trying not to grasp onto things and not to avoid things either. So either you avoid or you hold on to. If you try to not do either, but just let things flow and have a natural development, I think that's what we try to aim for, both for ourselves and the relationships we have in life.
I guess that's when you hold on to a problem, you hold on to a person, you hold on to a limiting belief, holding on to identity. That is a problem itself. And once we release it, we let it go, we set it free, because this is also control.
Mm-hmm.
And this is release, letting go, manifesting. Totally different concepts.
Mm-hmm. So if you talk about your friend again, that you said you want to hold on, part of you wants to hold on, like, oh, it's my friend here at work, oh, hold on to that. That is sort of holding on, grasping to that situation, no? Resistance to change a little bit, but then you let go and you can feel that joy for that person as well.
Yes. I'm also joking, say I want to tie him here because I wanted to stay, but I also want to see him leave and live his dream life, which he's talked about for several years. And I'll be fine. I'll be perfectly fine. He will be perfectly fine. Yeah. Yes. So I already now started my grieving process.
Well, does it need to be a grieving process? I mean, I think relationship can change without ending. So it's not an end to your relationship. It's just a change. Oh.
Right. And I'm really grateful for the times we shared as well, the experiences we shared. So, right, we will have some contact with each other for sure.
So it's changing from close colleagues and friends to ex-colleagues and still friends. So.
Yes. Yes. And the way I see it as friendship being a roller coaster also.
Yeah.
or as when we meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's these contrasts, right? Because otherwise, if I wouldn't care that much, it wouldn't he or she wouldn't be that close a friend. If like, okay, then it's maybe an acquaintance or a coworker, a meeting, an encounter. But all of them matter really because we perceive everything. We've experienced so many things in our life, so many experiences and encounters. They all mean to us because we also perceive them, go down to our subconscious. So we carry them with us. It's just
Yeah.
what do we filter and where do we place value? What do we value?
Yeah. We have so many questions, Jenny. Because I always think, do we confuse change with loss? I mean, change and loss doesn't need to be the same.
Loss is a change, but not every change is a loss.
Exactly.
Or
Now we go back to questions again.
or all these tag questions. But like I say to my students, being a teacher as well as a coach, I say to them, the questions you ask tell me more about the way you think than your answers do. Like Master
like
Yoda here. Yeah, because the questions you ask let the questions you ask let me know more about the way you think because I understand the level of questions, the detailed questions, how they problematize in questions. Like your questions tell me a lot about you, not the answers.
Yeah.
If I would ask which nuance is your wall? Oh, white. Okay. Which nuance of white is your wall? Ivory? Or is it like a grayish white? And then they may have the SMYK codes. Okay. Which SMYK code, which profile, which Lux index do you want? That tells me more about you than white.
I thought you meant that the question means that asking all these questions means that you're really interested in interior decorating.
Which I'm not. I'm the last person interested in interior
No,
decorating.
but as an example.
Yes, so that was role play.
I know, but you have so much knowledge about different colors types and indexes and everything. So hey, maybe you like it more than you.
Is true. If there's
Maybe
something
you like
called
it more than you think.
So that was my subconscious speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh wow.
And here I was thinking, I don't have the color code on my white wall.
Do I have what do I have on my wall? I'm not that visual. So I just have a white wall in front of me now. That's why I'm asking because see it right here, right now.
Yeah. Well, I took the question almost serious because I am interested in interior decorating. So I started thinking about what color. So yeah. Questions.
Yeah, that's another topic episode in communication and asking questions. I teach my students how to ask questions, different kinds of questions. When we have speaking tests in front of us, because that's what we learned when we took our life certification. What's it? Life coach certification. We learned the skills and remember these powerful questions. We had a presentation, several lessons on powerful questions.
Yeah.
I share them with my students.
Oh, good.
I do. Different kinds of questions. Amazing.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. Yeah.
Right?
So many. I'm yeah, now I'm gonna be like, thinking all the rest of the day. But I did take one thing with me. One thing I have written down.
One thing.
No, one thing I've written down is this is funny. In the past, I was always in the future. In the future, quote, No, I think it's amazing because to me it's so interesting because mindfulness is about living in the present and not to think about the past and things we can't change and or ruminate over that or ruminate about the future. So I never thought that you can actually say that in the past you lived in the future, but it's true. It's
Now
just
it
a
makes
pattern
sense.
that now it makes sense to you. But
Now it
I
makes sense.
just thought it was a funny, interesting concept. Yeah.
Yeah, once sometimes we say things and then realize, oh, that didn't sound that bad. Oh, that was quite wise actually.
Yeah.
Oh wow, time flies
Yeah.
when you and I meet, when we talk, when we laugh. I'm so grateful for you being a guest on my podcast once again, Camilla.
Yeah. And to be little bit more serious, then what I take with me as well is that it's a question for myself and for the others, I think, for the listeners, that can a relationship change without ending?
That's a great question. And I don't have the answer, but it's a great question that we're sending to our listeners as well. And I would like to communicate and emphasize that we choose your friends wisely. I am very selective with my friends and the people who I trust and who I listen to, really listen to. I hear everyone, but who do I listen to? Who do I let in? Who do I let affect me? So I'm actually proud to say I'm very selective because I choose the sunshines of my life, and you're one of my sunshines.
Thank you. You're one of mine as well. So that's a good thing. And it resonates with me what you said, that you choose. And I think that's also part because you feel that, well, I'm not talking about you in person, but maybe when we feel stronger in ourselves, we're not that easy to influence, then it's easier to put these boundaries and say, okay, I don't need to listen to everybody. I can have stronger boundaries, and not people pleasing and all this that comes with not having boundaries. So I'm glad that you feel that you can choose consciously who you listen to.
That transformation. I've gone through that. I didn't have boundaries in the past either. I didn't know where I was in time. I didn't have boundaries even, but now I do, and I'm so proud of them.
Yeah,
and
I think. Sorry, I mean today with all the algorithms and everything in social media, it's so easy to get into a certain, because you get bombarded with a message, and is that really the message you want to listen to, or is it that the algorithm picked up on something and then it just intensify that message to you all the time? But then sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, is this really what I'm interested in, or this really, or is it that I'm being bombarded by this, so I think this is what everybody thinks, but it's just my little universe here? Is it time to stop that and actually try to see what else is out there? And I think we need to be conscious about that as well and make choices. So
yes, and in my book, as well as when I do public speaking, like last Sunday, I told the audience my favorite tools. And one of my favorite tools is a quote by entrepreneur Jim Rohn, and he said that you are the average of the 5 persons closest to you. And that actually says a lot.
it does.
Who are the 5 people around you? And would you like it to be that way? Like, are you happy where you are? Or when we outgrow or we change paths in life, let's say I want to become a tech entrepreneur for some reason. I want to become a tech entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. So I'm in the best rooms with I also want to be the worst in the room, not the worst, but the one who knows least, so I have many to learn from.
Mm.
That's also Jim Rohn quote. So, which room do you want to be in? Who are the people surrounding you? Who you learn from? Who you look up to? And in order to become a tech entrepreneur, if I would dream of doing that and decide, okay, I'm going to become a tech entrepreneur, I'll have to seek tech rooms with people, with role models, with entrepreneurs who are doing it, who are already there, and who are willing to accept me or invite me or whatever. We'll figure it out. But which rooms do we choose to be in? Who do we invite to our rooms? That's something else I'm communicating, emphasizing.
Yeah. And relationships. I'm thinking about you right now, as you said, your journey here. That sometimes relationship that lasts a very short time have an enormous influence in our lives, though. Like you as a teacher, the influence you can have on somebody, the life choices that can make, that sometimes it scares me to think how much power a teacher can have, both for good and bad. Or a coach or a mentor. That's just a few moments, as you said, in these rooms, they're probably more like mentors or the people you surround you with to learn and to grow in a certain area. And those 5 change, but they are important to have around you. So,
and being a teacher for teens, being a coach, a teen coach or a coach for teens, that's a privilege. It's a privilege. And I'm honored also when they stay in touch, when they want to stay in touch after graduating. 5 years, that's fun looking at my Facebook friends, for instance. I have several former students that I can see where they are. One is now in Bali, someone now is a father, and we get to see, follow each other because we choose that. And that's an honor, a privilege. My heart is filled with love. And when I think about it, and I want to keep that as well.
Yeah, of course.
Like my teachers have been there for me. So when I announced the other day that I was accepted, my high school teacher, who was my Swedish teacher and mentor, when I went to senior high school, she congratulated me because we're Facebook friends. And she also was there encouraging me, writing my book and so on. So these relationships, they do matter.
Yeah.
Oh, Camilla, thank you so much for this conversation. This is one of the best conversations I've had now for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm leaving with a lot of questions. And a lot of answers as well, internal answers. So, everybody has their own answers to things as well. So,
yes, definitely. Now, when the listeners want to get hold of you, they want to learn what you do and, maybe buy a service, where can they reach you?
Well, my main channel is LinkedIn. So they can find me on LinkedIn as Camilla Karlsson, Spain. So I do live in Spain. I'm Swedish, but I live in Spain. So maybe that's a way of remembering it as well. So Camilla Karlsson, Spain in LinkedIn. I think that's the easiest way. I'm also on Instagram as Camilla Karlsson Coach. And I think you can put my email as well, maybe on the reference if they want to reach out. They're more than welcome to reach out.
Yes, and you can find all these links in the description to this episode. So thank you, Camilla, for being a guest on my show. Once again, and welcome back in the future for more episodes. And
thank you. Looking forward to next time.
Yeah, me too, already. And I want to thank all of you listening and liking and following and sharing these episodes. And also you reaching out, wanting to be a guest on my podcast. I'm super thrilled. So if you feel that these topics resonate with you, please contact me. And if you know someone else who would like to be a guest or wants to be challenged to become a guest, maybe is nervous, never done a podcast episode, but you think that, oh, we really want to hear that person's thoughts, so hook us up anyhow. Would be amazing. Because together we create a better world, we make a difference, and by sharing wisdom, we share techniques, we share methods, compassion, and love. So thank you for being part of this journey together with me. Thank you.